Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. Avoidant personality disorders are the reclusive, distant, risk-aversive, and most fearful of the personality disorders. First, a note. In this day of diagnosing ourselves and others with just a bit of knowledge gleaned off the internet, I want to start by talking about the severity of a personality disorder. This is one of the cluster B personality disorders, and all of these are characterized by an enduring pattern that starts by early adulthood and continues on. The person's inner experience and outward behavior deviates markedly from that of the culture and manifests in two or more of the following areas. Number one, cognition. Ways of perceiving and interpreting yourself, others, and events are typically way off base. You and others are much affected by this serious deviation from reality, and you tend to see things in very extreme terms. These stories about yourself, others, and events often have people saying you're being crazy, and later you might realize that they were right. You can notice this by checking in with others and finding out if you're off base a lot of the time. Number two, affectivity. The range, intensity, lability, which means the wild swinging, and appropriateness of your emotional responses. This is about how your emotions swing wildly from one extreme to another with real intensity, and they're often inappropriate to the situation at hand. Again, people might pull away and start to say that you're acting crazy. Number three, interpersonal functioning. This refers to how you handle relationships, and in a personality disorder, this is severely impaired. You often wonder how to relate to others in a way that's more appropriate and connective. And number four, impulse control. This typically means that what you feel, you act on without any filter or self-control. In addition, the pattern is inflexible and pervasive across a broad range of personal and social situations. The pattern leads to clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. In other words, you're struggling in most areas of your life, and when you step back and look at it, this pervasive pattern of personality characteristics is the root cause. Avoidant personality specifically refers to a pervasive pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation, as indicated by four or more of the following. Number one, avoids work activities that involve significant interpersonal contact because of fears of criticism, disapproval, or rejection. So right off the bat, we can see how this disorder would seriously impact your ability to succeed. If you're continuously avoidant of job activities, opportunities, or demands, and focused on your own fears of criticism, disapproval, or rejection, your occupational life is going to be stunted. We all have activities and fears with work demands, but this disorder, by definition, means that these fears are not just something you can push past and talk yourself through, but they're truly debilitating. Number two, you're unwilling to get involved with people unless you're certain of being liked. Again, we all have fears of meeting new people, but someone with avoidant personality will be so fearful of not being liked, they will be unwilling to go to places they have to meet new people. You can see how this would seriously damage one's social life and relationships. Number three, shows restraint within intimate relationships because of the fear of being shamed or ridiculed. Even in a relationship, this person's so fearful of shame or ridicule, they will be very withdrawn and unable to get closer or to become intimate. Number four is preoccupied with being criticized or rejected in social situations. Again, we all have some level of fear of social situations, but this personality disorder is so fearful their main preoccupation while in the company of others is on the fear of criticism or rejection. Number five is inhibited in interpersonal relationships because of feelings of inadequacy. Their feelings literally take up all their brain space when in situations where interpersonal skills are required. This could be at a meeting at work or a work party or social situation. They won't be thinking about anything except their internal self-messages about their own inadequacy. Number six, views themselves as socially inept, personally unappealing, or inferior. These are their internal messages, and sadly, they are continually reinforced in social situations as it's a struggle to have a positive encounter with others when you're internally fighting these messages. These experiences reinforce the desire to avoid, and then the cycle deepens over time. Many of these folks are successful in their work if they can avoid interpersonal interactions. They have jobs where they're primarily isolated or they're not expected to do a lot with others, but they'll start to struggle when the company demands group projects or staff meetings, or if they try to promote this person to a place of supervising others. And number 7, they're unusually reluctant to take personal risks or to engage in any new activities because they might prove embarrassing. This avoidance tends to reinforce the feeling that they're not appealing as friends or partners. They feel they're boring and that others would think of them as uninteresting since they won't do anything new that might put them at risk of failure or looking stupid. If you feel you may have some or many of these qualities of avoidant personality, it's best to have a therapist help you sort this through and give you consistent goals and challenges to help you address and push past these stuck places. In addition, you can help yourself with the following strategies. Number 1, watch my video called Calming the Chatter of the Internal Critic. This will help you learn how to change the internal self-talk that the person with avoidant personality most definitely struggles with. Number 2, as you push yourself to tell yourself healthier internal messages, become your own positive coach. Set goals, push past the fears, and keep encouraging yourself at each step. Number 3, recognize that we all have some level of fear and anxiety and that avoiding actually makes it worse, not better. Keep pushing through in small steps so that you do not become any more isolated than you are. Number 4, find your tribe. You have interests and abilities, and rather than trying to push yourself into someone else's idea of a social network, find your own. Look at different meetups and go to one that looks like your cup of tea. This is so much more likely to be successful than going to a bar where you don't drink or going to a club that does something that you have no interest in. Number 5, find balance. Enjoy your time alone. Support yourself in your solo time, and then push into some social time. Recognize that balance and enjoying each in your own timing is key. Number 6, keep coming back to the positive self-coaching in your head. This can't be stressed enough. Listen and change those messages, and over time, make sure you give yourself big high fives and happy dances in your head when you do one thing differently. Personality disorders often take years to resolve, so don't quit or become discouraged. It took years to develop, and it will take time to change. If you've appreciated this video, please share it on your social media and subscribe. You never know when your sharing might help someone else who's struggling. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.